Jai Gurudev. We'll chant Om 3 times. Breathing in for Om. Om. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मद्श्रीगुरुपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। वसुदेवसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we are continuing with chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita and verse 15. Thank you, Dr. Savita, for sending me the PDF. So I'll start from this question. What is there to worry about? The coming and going of the opposites is a fact.
Sumaji,
Yeah.
It'll be nice for us to just chant the first 15 or 16 shlokas. Just read the meaning,
Okay.
just the meaning, shloka meaning, and then come here. So then we get
Okay.
the
Okay.
whole-
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good suggestion and very good thing to do, right? So I will require your help.
I won't be able to chant today. I mentioned in the group. So if anybody else can chant, that will be great.
I'll chant it.
Okay.
Verse number 15.
No,
Yam
from first. She wants us to just recite.
No, you doing it on this PDF will be very difficult. Whoever is chanting can chant using the book.
Yeah.
Using
Yeah,
the Bhagavad Gita.
I'll chant. Shall I chant from the beginning?
Yeah, please chant.
Yeah.
Till 15. Okay. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Dvitiyodhyayah. Sanjay Uvacha Tan Tatha Kripayavishtam Ashrupunakulekshanam Vishidantamidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Jushtamasvargyam Akirti Karamarjuna Klebhyam Masam Gamah Partha Naitattvayupapadyate Shudram Hriday Daurbalyan Tyaktvotishtah Parantapa. Arjunuvacha Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe द्रोणै च मधुसूदना इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदना गुरून् हत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेयो भोक्तुं भेक्ष्यमपीह लोके हत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान् न चैतद्विद्यः न न चैतद्विद्यः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामस्तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मा त्वां प्रपन्नम् न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छ यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमा वसपत्रमृतं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम् सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषिदन्तमिदं वचः श्रीभगवान् उवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहै जातु नासन् न त्वन्नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामस् सर्वे व्यमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनैर्जरा तथा देहान्तरः प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यास्तांस्तितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृत्वाय कल्पते. This is the 15th shloka. You can start from 15. You were saying, no?
Okay.
What is there to worry? Yeah.
Mhm. So that is the end of the 14th verse and
No,
meaning
I read
about
the
the Atma.
50, I
Yeah,
read
I
the
know, I know.
15th. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You can
yeah.
read the meanings. Yeah.
Okay. So what is there to worry about? The coming and going of the opposites is a fact. Thus, when Krishna told Arjuna, endure them, titikshasva, he was not offering advice. He was being objective. What is the need of this objectivity? Because situations are constantly changing, the pleasant as well as the unpleasant. To think that only the pleasant ones change and not the unpleasant ones is not correct. What then is there to worry about? For a person who is objective, who has a certain appreciation for what the world and its situations are all about, there is no reason for sorrow. There, these these are just situations to face and act upon. Whether inner or outer, there is nothing to be sad about. Further, he said, you read the shloka. So Purusha Sabha. O the prominent among men, Arjuna, ete.
Purusha Rishabha. It is Rishabha.
Purusha Rishabha. Oh,
Rishabha.
sorry.
Yeah.
Purusha Purusha Rishabha.
Rishabha.
The
Right.
prominent among men, Arjuna, yete. These two, Sukha and Dukkha, Sama Dukkha Sukham. The one who is same in pleasure and pain. Dhiram, one who is discriminating. Yam Purusham, the person whom na vyatyanti, do
Na
not affect.
Vyathayanti.
Na vyathayanti, do not affect. Saha, he indeed. Amrutatvaya, for gaining liberation, moksha. Kalpate is fit. So, O Arjuna, the prominent among men, the person whom these sukha and dukkha do not affect, who is the same in pain and pleasure, and who is discriminative, is fit for gaining liberation. Okay. In this verse, Krishna addresses Arjuna as a Purusha Rishabha, whose literal meaning is a bull, a Rishabha among men. Among large herds of cattle, the stud bull always stands out because of its size and the big hump on its back. Just as bull cannot be missed among the hundreds of cows, so too Arjuna stood out as the most exalted of men. Even those who did not know who Arjuna was would have acknowledged him because of his brilliance, tejas. He was a man of great accomplishment and a highly recognized person in the society. So he was addressed as Purusha Rishabha, the most prominent among men. A discriminative person remains the same with reference to the opposites. Pleasant and unpleasant situations do not affect that person. Such a person is aware of their coming and going, of their constantly changing nature. In the Bhashya, Shankara makes it clear that this is not just a matter of practicality. A wise person knows himself as Atma, who cannot be affected by any situation. Such a person is called Dhira, meaning one who is discriminating. One who has knowledge of the Nitya Atma. The word Pandita, used in an earlier verse, is replaced here by the word Dhira, meaning one who is not affected by the opposites and who therefore gains moksha, amrutatva. Mritatva means being subject to mortality, whereas amrutatva is to be free from mortality. Knowing the Atma as the one that is Nitya, the wise man gains moksha. One who is discriminative, who accepts situations happily, and who does not allow himself or herself to be swayed by either pleasant or unpleasant situation, is one who is fit for self knowledge or who already has this knowledge. Krishna obviously wanted to make this fact clear at the outset. नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयो उभयोरपि दृष्टो न न तस्त्वा नायतस्तत. Sorry, second line I need
Yeah,
help.
I'll just read it. नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि द्रष्टुन्तः त्वन्योस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः.
Thank you. Asatah, for the unreal, mithya, bhavaha, being, na vidyate, is not there. For the unreal, being is not there. Sataha, for the real, api, also, abhavaha, not being, absence, na vidyate, is not there. Ubhayoha, anyoha, of these two, Sat and Asat, Antah, the ultimate truth, Tattva, Darshibihi, by the knowers of the truth, Tu, indeed, Drishtaha, is seen. For the unreal Mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non being. The ultimate truth of both these is seen by the knowers of the truth. This is very important verse, even though cryptic. For the asat, a word we shall use as it is, there is no being, bhava. In other words, being is not there for the asat, and for the sat, there is no non being. In the second line of the verse, Krishna went on to say that this fact is known by those people who know the ultimate truth about Sat and Asat. The first line is the crux of the verse. Asat means something that does not exist independently, and Sat is that which exists independent of anything else. What is it that exists independently? Cold and heat, for example, do not exist independently because they depend upon a number of factors. There is no absolute cold existing by itself. That something is cold depends upon something else. The temperature cannot reveal itself to you by itself unless you have a perception. Therefore, your perception is essential in order to understand that something is cold and something else is hot. When you say this is a pot, does the word pot reveal an object that exists by itself? Or does the object indicated by the word pot depend for its existence upon something else? If it depends on something else, clay, because of which the pot is there and unto which it will go back, that clay becomes the cause, karana, for the pot. The word pot has no real object outside the word itself. It has no existence apart from the clay. That which has a cause, that which depends upon something for its existence, that which does not independently exist, is called asat. Shankara explains asat further. When we try to prove the existence of things that are independent upon causes for their existence, such as cold and heat, or any given object, we find there is no self existent thing at all among the objects of the world. Why? Because what is there is only a form, vikara, and keeps changing. We are vyabhicharati. It is never the same, nor can it be the same. Shankara goes on to prove a point here. Suppose all pots are made of clay, but you have knowledge of only one pot. You know it is clay. If you know Satya, the truth, the cause Karana of all pots to be non dual clay, regardless of what form any of all pots assume, you know that they are nothing but this one clay. By knowing that one clay, you know all pots that in the sense they are not separate from the clay. Do you want to go through the Chandogya Upanishad? I'll read this, complete the sentence. Although this is a general knowledge, Samanya Jnana of all the pots as clay and not the particular knowledge, Vishesha Jnana of individual pots, it is knowledge of the whole. This explanation from Chandogya Upanishad, where one particular sentence it is said that before this creation there was only one thing, the Sat Vastu, which was non dual, one without a second, undifferentiated. Nothing else was there. From that Sat Vastu alone, called Brahman, everything has come and is non separate from it. Nothing exists apart from Sat. This knowledge was revealed in this Upanishad to Shvetaketu, who had been sent by his father to a Gurukula at the age of 12. He returned at the age of 24, very proud of all his accomplishments, having studied the Vedas for 12 years. Shvetaketu's father was a great man. He could not stand his son's arrogance. So he asked his son, "Did you ask your teacher for that knowledge, gaining which everything is known?" The boy replied that he did not think that his teacher knew this. Later, he asked his father if there was such a knowledge. And he said, "How can you know one thing and thereby know everything else? If there is such a knowledge, please teach me, O Lord." The same topic is discussed in the Mandokya Upanishad. The only difference being that there the student asked the question to the teacher, whereas in the Chandogya Upanishad, the father asked, the only difference being that there the student is asked this question to the teacher. Whereas in Chandogya Upanishad, the father asked Shvetaketu, who said he didn't know. Then Shvetaketu asked his father to teach him. I'm a bit confused now. The same
What
topic
was the
in
question?
what the father Shvetaketu asks his son, did you learn that one thing by knowing
Mm.
which you will know everything? So
Hmm.
the boy says, I don't think my teacher knows that.
Okay.
Will you teach me? So
Mhm.
the father will teach, Shvetaketu will teach
Mhm.
his son this one thing by knowing which you will know everything else.
Yes. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. So now I'm a bit confused. Chandogya Upanishad is what Shvetaketu is going to say, right? And Mandukya Upanishad is? Okay, I'll find out that
The
later.
same topic is discussed. That sentence, the same topic is discussed is the Upanishad.
Ah, Okay, okay.
Same,
That is
same.
between the teacher and the student, and whereas Chandogya, it is between the father and the son. But the topic
Okay,
is the
okay,
same.
fine.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
Mundaka
okay.
Upanishad. Mundaka. Yeah.
Mundaka is between whom? Who was the teacher
Between
and who was the student?
Between son
that I
and father.
no. The
No, no, that
Chand
is Chandogya.
Okay.
Mundaka, I'll find out who was the teacher and who was the student.
teacher and student, I
Leave.
also don't know. But
Okay, leave. Sorry, I'm digressing. I come back here. Then, what is a pot? It is purely a name for a form. Other than this, there is no pot that exists separate from clay, nor is the clay the pot. If it were, again, you would not need to make the pot, the clay being there already. Therefore, the clay is not the pot. If you remove the clay, where is the pot? Is it anywhere? It is something that you have to search for. No, all that is there in the name pot is a form recognized as such. Anything that is time bound, like a pot, will change and you cannot stop it because its nature is to keep on changing. When and how are you going to stop it? Therefore, what are you crying for? What are you sad for? Are you sad for something eternal because it is eternal? No. Sat is that which never changes. It has no non existence, abhava, at all. Sat is never negated at any time, whereas Asat never enjoys being of its own, enjoys a being of its own. Therefore, Sat cannot create any sorrow for you, and Asat is incapable of doing so because it does not exist in its own right. How can Asat create sorrow? In the vision of the Veda, you are the Sat and everything else is Asat. Asat cannot be a source of sorrow to Sat, and Sat cannot be a source of sorrow to you because it is you. The whole problem is one of confusion between Sat and Asat, between Atma and Anatma. Asat has no being, no bhava. It has no existence. Thus, it cannot be bhava, that which exists at all three periods of time. A thing that exists is bhava, and abhava is a thing that does not exist. The word bhava comes from the root bhu, used in the sense of existence. Analysis of existence and non existence. Tucha is another word for abhava and refers to certain combinations that do not exist at all. For example, a man's horn, Manushya Shringa, does not exist. Horn exists and man exists. Both are bhava. Both exist. But these two words are objects in the world, which I know exist. But when I combine the two as man's horns, there is no such thing. Such does the word asat in the verse mean tucha, non existent? No, because it is unnecessary to say something that is non existence, has no being. In some modern commentaries on the Gita, however, we find asat being translated as and equated to non existent. What purpose is served by this sentence? The non existent, such as the man's horn, has no existence. No purpose is served by this sentence. That which we refer to as asat has an order of reality, which is neither Satya, Bhava, nor Tucha. There is another type of abhava between these two, a non existent, that we call asat here. For instance, we cannot dismiss the sense organs and sense objects as totally non existent, tucha. Are they then sat? Let us analyze them. A sense organ cannot be called a sense organ unless it perceives something. Eyes are a sense organ only because they see a form. Ears are a sense organ because they hear a sound, and the sense of smell, taste, and touch are all called sense organs because they contact their sense objects. How can you call eyes a sense organ if they do not see? If ears do not hear, there is no sense organ, even though the earlobes may be used for earrings or for catching hold of someone. Someone catching hold. Okay, earlobes to hold someone. The earlobes, etc., are just the anatomical aspect of the sense called hearing. It is hearing that makes the ears a sense organ, and there is no such thing as sound without the ears, which establishes what? So it is the hearing that makes the ears a sense organ, and there is no such thing as sound without the ears. To establish the existence of one, we need to establish the existence of the other. When establishing the existence of either one, which depends on establishing the existence of the other, there must be some other basis for existence of both. Thus, all of them depend on something that is self existent, called Sat. Because we cannot dismiss the sense organs and their sense objects as non existent, we say they are Asat. They are not totally non existent, that is, Atyanta Abhava. The sense organs and sense objects do exist. All the responses of pleasure, pain, sukha, dukkha exist. You cannot dismiss them as non existent, nor can you take them as independently existent. Therefore, for something that cannot be dismissed as non existent, tucha, and cannot be taken as independently existent, sat, we have to have a word, and that word is asat. Another word for asat is mithya. Asat or mithya is that which has no bhava, that which depends on sat. Only when there is sat is asat possible. Therefore, mithya or asat is something whose existence depends upon another thing, and because it has no independent existence, it is not separate from that upon which it depends. Objects do not exist independently. When a pot is made, before it is baked, there is only clay. Thus, once upon a time, the pot was clay. When it became a pot, it was clay in the form of pot. Even though it has been fired, it is nothing but clay. All that has happened is that the clay now has an added attribute, guna, the pot form. This added attribute is what is meant by creation. Creative possibilities are there, but there is no such thing as a clay pot without clay. When we look at something in this world, we always find that it is a form with a name, depending on something other, depending on some other substantiative vastu. A particular form, rupa, is called asat. It has the nature of its substantiative, but itself it has no bhava. By the time you see an object, it has already changed. It is never the same in the next moment. It is like seeing a film projected on a white screen. It looks as though someone is standing there, but in fact, the frame is continuously changing. Similarly, the frame in one's mind keeps on changing, exactly like the film. This is what makes it possible for us to see motion. Because what you see, because what you have seen is already gone and you do not see it again in the same form, an object has no real bhava. In a flowing river, you do not get the same water at the same place. It is over, gone, flowing constantly in the flow of time. Similarly, any perception we have is conditioned by time and therefore has the nature of being merely an appearance. So, any perception we have is conditioned by time and therefore has the nature of merely an appearance. It is as though there and not really there because it is always changing. It is as though all the time. All objects in the world are time bound. When you see an object, that object is not seen by you as an independent object. You always see some other thing along with it. When you see a shirt, for example, you also see cloth. And when you see cloth, you see a particular material. Thus, you find that the shirt has no existence apart from its cause, karana, the cloth. Not only can you not create a shirt without cloth, you cannot imagine one either. Cloth here refers to any material with which the shirt is made. Without cloth, paper, or some other material, it is impossible to make a shirt, even in your imagination. You can imagine an elephant entering your ear by seeing yourself as very big, but you cannot imagine making a shirt without cloth. No object exists by itself apart from its cause. An object that does not exist independent of something else cannot have the word sat imputed to it. It can only be called asat because sat will be the one upon which the object depends for its bhava. If I remove the cloth, can you wear the shirt? All you will have here is the emperor's clothes. There is no such thing as shirt without the material with which it is made. For the word shirt, there is no corresponding object at all. Bhava means it must independently exist. And because the cloth is the bhava, the shirt has no independent substantiative status. Nor can we say the cloth with which the shirt is made is sat because it too depends on something else. Then what is the real sat? That which exists by its own glory and does not depend on anything else for its existence is called sat or satya. Just because something is a cause does not mean it is satya.
Can you
So
read
that
from
which,
last two? Okay. Okay.
huh? Yeah, I'll just read
Last
this.
two. Uh,
Yeah. That which exists by its own glory and does not depend on anything else for its existence is called Sat or Satya. Just because something is a cause does not mean it is a Satya. Causes themselves depend on their causes and therefore are also Asat.
so
So
cloth
this
is
is,
not Satya for the shirt.
yeah. And the cloth itself is also not Satya because it depends on something else,
Correct.
on the thread. So, like that, you go on analyzing. So, you
Mhm.
will come to that final thing that everything is dependent on only the Sattva Vastu. So,
Mhm.
everything else is Asat. So, now, why do we see the Sat in the Asat? If everything is Asat, how is it that we see the world as real, as Sat? We say the world is. We do not look at it as something that is not. This is because in every perception there are two buddhis. This is the thing. Here the buddhi means knowledge, cognition. One buddhi is with reference to the object and the other is with reference to its asat buddhi, the the is not buddhi. This is this is not buddhi has to be explained. So we see everything with two buddhis. The problem is that we take the is not as is and get confused. This confusion leads to sukha dukkha. When we see a pot, there is a pot buddhi, pot cognition, and we say the pot is. That buddhi cognition, whose object is the pot, undergoes a change similar to the changing frame in a moving film. In this buddhi, that is called asat buddhi. So it is this buddhi that is called asat buddhi. That which does not undergo a change is called Sat Buddhi. Suppose the pot you are looking at is replaced by another object, a tree. The pot is gone and the tree is there in its place. Previously we said pot is, now we say tree is. If we analyze these two cognition, we can see that the is buddhi never goes. The pot goes because it is a sat, and the sat that is always there is now with the tree. When the tree buddhi goes, branch buddhi may be there, and when the branch buddhi is gone, leaf buddhi is there. When the leaf buddhi is gone, chlorophyll buddhi is there. And when the chlorophyll buddhi is gone, particle buddhi is there. When the particle buddhi is gone, whatever buddhi that is left will still be there. What is it that remains? Sat, that
So
is
Asat
always
Buddhi,
there.
sorry to interrupt. So Asat Buddhi is the branch Buddhi or the particular object Buddhi, which is ever changing. But
Yeah,
the is Buddhi is the Sat Buddhi.
yeah,
Okay, thank you. Continue.
yeah. So that is buddhi is always there. So our focus should be on that is buddhi.
Hmm.
But we
Big mind.
confuse it with the
Hmm.
asat buddhi, with the pot and branch and tree and all that.
So now can we can correlate with the small mind and big mind like this?
Yeah, even I was thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we focus on the big mind, is buddhi, then there is no confusion. When we say So we recognize it. Okay, 1 minute. So what does it mean? Sat, that is always there, is always is. Therefore, it is called Sat. That which does not change, whereas the object whose buddhi changes is called Asat. The object is Asat because the buddhi keeps changing. We recognize it differently each time it changes. In every perception, then there are two buddhis, the object buddhi and the is buddhi. When we say blue pot, neela gatha, both words indicate the same object. The object that is blue is pot, and object that is pot is blue. Similarly, when I say, please meet Mr. So and so, the musician, both Mr. and so and the musician are one and the same object. When we say Arjuna, Pandava, there is only one person, Arjuna, and he is a Pandava. In all these situations, there is a substantiative adjective relationship. The word blue is an adjective to the pot in the expression blue pot. However, this is not so when we say the existent pot or this is a pot. Here it seems as though the isness is an adjective to the pot. This is not correct. The pot is the adjective to existence. The potness qualifies the easiness. Here, there is Sat Buddhi. Here, there is Sat Buddhi, meaning that the pot exists and that there is also pot Buddhi. That is the object Buddhi, which are two different things. To say this is a pot definitely implies isness. Since the word is used. There are therefore always two buddhi, Sat Buddhi and Asat Buddhi, which is the object Buddhi. Only Asat Buddhi, object Buddhi changes, meaning that the existence Sat Buddhi is conditioned by an object as its attribute. It is always there. When the tree is in the form of a tree. Similarly, is can be in the form of a pot, a person, a nose, a body, or anything. Existence is also in the form of thought. Therefore, if there is no thought, what is there is existence minus thought. Existence minus the body, existence minus the world is existence. So existence is in the form of a thought. Therefore, if there is no thought, what is there is existence minus thought. Existence minus the body, existence minus the world, existence is existence. That existence, Sat, is always there, not affected by any condition to or subtraction from it. The is buddhi always remains. The way in which the Sat Buddhi is conditioned is what undergoes change, whereas the Sat Buddhi itself never changes. Therefore, Shankara says in his Bhashya that the object of the thought, this is a pot, is Asat, because it is always changing. It never remains the same. The Sat Buddhi, on the other hand, is Satya, because whatever that Sat is does not undergo any change. A doubt being possible
Can you
here.
read that again? Previous paragraph. Yeah. I- Is remains always. Is
The
buddhi.
is buddhi always remains. The way in which the Sat Buddhi is conditioned is what undergoes change, whereas the Sat Buddhi itself never changes. Therefore, Shankara says in his Bhashya that the object of the thought, this is a pot, is Asat because it is always changing. It never remains the same. The Sat Buddhi, on the other hand, is Satya because whatever that Sat is, it does not undergo any change. Simple diagnosis.
So Sat Buddhi is there, but that is also Sat and Asat.
No, Sat Buddhi is there. It
It
does
is
not undergo
always.
any change. See, if you
Hmm.
take this sentence, this is a pot. Now you break it.
Thought minus pot is Sat.
So if you break it, this is a pot. You cut it into two say, parts. So this is and a pot. A pot is asat because it is going to change.
Hmm.
This is sat buddhi. It is not going to change. The is never going to change.
Hmm.
Got it?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. A doubt being possible here. Shankara clarifies the point in the Bhashya by raising and answering an objection. Purva Paksha. Suppose a pot is gone, destroyed, and the pot buddhi, gata buddhi is gone. You say the pot was, and now the pot is no more. The pot being destroyed, the pot buddhi goes, and the pot proves to be asat. But along with the destroyed pot, does the is buddhi, sat buddhi also go? Shankara's response is that the is buddhi never goes. The is always there. We say the pot is destroyed. So again, you take this sentence the pot is destroyed. So this is remains the same. Pot destroyed. The destroyed pot is, the pot is no more, etc. Because something else is. The is buddhi never goes. Only the conditioned sat buddhi is gone. The sat buddhi, the
Can you read
exists.
that where the conditioned mind comes, conditioned mind, conditioned
uh,
buddhi becomes very paragraph
this
before
one,
this. Yeah.
this one.
Is buddhi remains that above that last two paragraphs there how the condition happen, how the buddhi is conditioned because of that because of the conditioned buddhi we perceive things like that.
The is buddhi is conditioned by the object. Okay, I'll read this. The is buddhi always remains. The way in which the sat buddhi is. See, the sat buddhi is conditioned is what undergoes change. Whereas the sat
But
buddhi
how it
itself,
is conditioned, that conditioning is also explained in the previous paragraphs. Okay, I will read, no problem. Hmm.
that nilagata, all that. Huh?
Hmm.
It gives an adjective to the pot. But here we understand that pot as an adjective to this sadbuddhi. So that is where
Mhm.
the conditioning is happening.
Okay, thank you.
So Shankara says in his Bhashya that the object of the
Conditioning
thought,
are
this is a
conditioning are the attributes which gets attached with that is buddhi, that sat
yeah,
buddhi. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
look at the existence of the sat buddhi when some attributes are attached and it like an object is formed, with some attribute, then it is called that Sadbuddhi is conditioned now.
Hmm. Hmm. Correct. So this is a pot, is a sat. Yeah.
No, the easiness is always there, right? So that's,
Yeah.
yeah. So
What
that,
is asat?
yeah, part, the part meaning, I think the, it, all the things that exist, but then that's what earlier you read, the existence minus world part. Over that, even the pot breaks, then that clay, they still exist, but the pot is not there. That
Yeah.
become asat, yeah. Mm.
So this
But
is
the
has no
disease
attribute.
doesn't, yeah, undergo any change. It doesn't.
Yeah. Doesn't undergo any change.
Mm.
Correct. So the Sat Buddhi, on the other hand, is Satya because whatever the Sat is, it does not undergo any change. Okay, I'll just read up to this and then I'll stop for today. A doubt being possible here, Shankara clarifies the point in the Bhashya by raising and answering an objection, Purva Paksha. Suppose the pot is gone, destroyed, and the pot buddhi, Gatha buddhi, is gone. You say the pot was, and now the pot is no more. The pot being destroyed, the pot buddhi goes, and the pot proves to be asat. But along with the destroyed pot, does not the is buddhi, sat buddhi also go? Shankara's response is that the sat buddhi, the is buddhi never goes. Is always there. We say the pot is destroyed. The, dis- the destroyed pot is. The pot is no more, etc. Because something else is, the is buddhi never goes. Only conditioned sad buddhi is gone. The sad buddhi, the exists buddhi, is conditioned by a particular name and form, nama rupa, and when the pot is destroyed, that nama rupa is gone, but the sad buddhi is not gone. It is there It is there to join anything. The is buddhi can join the broken pot. The broken pot is, or something else is. Only asat keeps changing. The varieties of objects seen by you keep on changing while you remain the same. That is existence. Remains that is existence remains. It never goes away. If this aspect of the teaching is not clear, you can conclude that the Atma, the Sat Vastu, is zero. So, this is what Buddha said, no? Everything is nothing. There is nothing. The Atma alone is, and everything else is Nama Rupa. Only in addition to that Sat Buddhi. An addition that does not bring about any addition, just as the pot form does not bring about an addition to the clay, so too the addition of a nama rupa to the sat buddhi does not bring about any change to it. This is the vision. The sat buddhi is always qualified by an attribute. Is in the form of a tree, is in the form of a pot, is in the form of something. And that form keeps on changing. That which changes is asat, mithya, whereas sat remains ever the same. And what is that Sat? Sat Buddhi is existence, consciousness. Sat Chit. Existence is consciousness. Consciousness, the Sat Buddhi, always joins with something in the form of knowledge and reveals. For example, the pot is. When the pot is gone, the tree is. When the tree is gone, something else is. When everything is gone, I am Aham Asmi. So I will stop here. So this is coming to that silence. You go on analyzing, everything goes away, and what remains is nothing, that silence. So that is I am. I am Aham Asmi. Want to have any manana?
Knowing that Satvastu, everything else we know. That statement
Mm,
also,
mm,
that's why the silence is everything we analyze, it comes to Asat Buddhi and Sat Buddhi.
yeah,
So, in simple terms, like relating to ourselves, the human body, it is that Sat Vastu, that Atma, it is that Sat. It always remains, but it gets conditioned whenever, like, conditioned by the Nam Rupa, the attributes. It takes a human form, maybe the next. When it leaves, then it may be conditioned by the different form, maybe an animal form or the tree form. So it is how that Atma is always, it always remains that Sat is. It carries with it all the impressions and the what you say, that the mind which has gathered in its lifetime. So that attributes are attached, and this is how they are carried in every lifetime. But it is with that Sat Vastu remains the same, but these attributes keeps on changing. In
yeah.
this life, the human, maybe the next is the animal. So how this is how, like, it is going on, but that Satvastu is there. It is always there.
So that's why Adi Shankara's Nirvana Shatakam, no? That is Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. It's
So
all
nothing
attached to that is, to the
mm,
Satvastu, and we are not any of those.
means every
Until that
Asatvastu
becomes an
doesn't.
experiential knowledge,
Mm.
we will go on attaching attributes to this Satvastu. Yeah, sorry, you were saying something?
No, I was saying every Asatvastu has a Sat in it. So
Yeah,
without that, its existence doesn't uh, means Asat cannot exist without Sat.
yes.
Yes. And
So,
Sat will only exist when, like, we'll be leading to this tomorrow about that. Then that Aham Asmi, like, when you realize that this Sat is, when that Asat realizes that the Sat, this is the Sat, then that difference, that it goes away. Then it becomes one. We'll be reading it tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
page
exactly.
196.
196.
Navita,
Yeah.
I know, I don't know what the consensus was about how we're going to do it the next week.
Actually,
Hmm.
till the this Pitra Paksh is going on, there's
Hmm.
no problem. It's only on the day of when the Navratra first day. So because of that Ghat Sthapna, no, it takes some time and there is Mahurat also. So that day, first day would be a bit difficult for me.
Is that a
Otherwise,
Monday or Tuesday? Is that for
I
you?
don't know. It is
It's a
22nd.
Monday. It's a Monday. Do you
Hmm.
want to take a break? I, I think we
It's
can
all
take a
up to
break.
The
you. If you like.
only question I have is, I know, again, we don't want to miss Dr. Brahmara also, but I'm wondering, can we review all the slokas in the second chapter with the Tatparya and instead of reading the whole thing, or that going like in a elaborative commentary like this? That that is one option. And the other one was whatever we did in Tattva both, all the questions we can quiz ourselves and see we got that correct. I mean, that is just a thought because I thought we will all be back. Everybody will be missing some days, I think. We won't be able to, I won't be able to come also for a few days. That's just a question option, but then it's everybody what you guys decide. If you want to continue to read that, then I'll listen to the tape. That's it. Mm.
Uh, Actually, if at least two people are there, then it can be managed. Like if
Mm.
Suma is there or you are there, like I don't have to go anywhere. It's only
Mm.
on the first day, so
Okay.
it's no problem for me unless something else happened because my mother-in-law is quite sick these days. She had an angina attack around
Mm.
20 days before, but she's still having
Mm.
continuous fever and it's not being able to diagnose. So if everything is fine, then I can continue, but I don't know, like, but
Yeah.
uh, yes, I don't have to
The,
go anywhere. Yeah.
just my family, my husband and I, myself is okay. But my brother will be visiting this Friday for a week. So that is another reason I thought maybe some
So
days I know I can be.
whatever you
I
decide,
can
I
come, that'd be fine.
can
Yeah.
comply. Like,
Mm.
yeah, and we can read the this
Same time,
this is
Thursday.
how we are reading.
Yeah.
We can again revisit when Dr. Brahmara again
Come.
joins us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can again, because every time that clarity which was not there initially, today it was still, how it becomes clear every time you read.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
uh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
rereading is always beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I was just thinking, like, we have done the Tattva both twice, thrice,
Mm-hmm.
though still we don't remember the shlokas, that
Focus.
those
Yeah.
verses that
Mm-hmm.
is there.
Yeah.
Uh, yes.
Anyway, you can post it in the group.
Yeah.
I mentioned it yesterday. I want to know how many people are going to be there and all that.
Yeah, we'll put our
That
messages
way
on
we'll
the
see.
group.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
That way we
Okay.
can we see it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play the
Meditation.
meditation. Yeah.
Okay.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here. Lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. Then slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Gurudev.